Hey guys, Brophy here. Welcome to the Undrafted Free Agents Live Podcast, the football podcast for all my Eagle fans out there. Fly, Eagles, fly. Here are your hosts, Richard and Mert.
Hey! Week 3, episode 3, sorry.
Thank you, Brophy.
Week 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're letting our friends do these intros for us. Told them they could do whatever they want. Of course.
She went with the Eagles.
Yeah. Where we are, it's hard to avoid these Eagles fans. I mean, yeah, as much as you want to avoid them anywhere in the world, it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard here.
It's hard around here. Which is like on a tangent, but like it always pains me to know that there are full-on parts of New Jersey that are like Eagles country, and I just
where my dad lives, it's all Eagles.
Never sat right with me. We have some news, NFL news. We're going to get to that. But first, I wanted to keep everyone updated. We're growing this channel, but we're actually going to be moving to a new channel soon. Right now, I'm hosting our podcast here on my YouTube channel, where I usually have like a bunch of stupid video game things. I'm very into Street Fighter 6
Check them out. They're
now.
good.
Yeah, I'll be uploading some Street Fighter 6 Zangief clips. I had a 10-win streak going the other day. I made it to platinum. I've only been playing for like a week. Anyway, so you can see like down, if you're looking down, and if you're seeing any of this, if you're not just listening to it, down below we have our new Instagram page, our new YouTube channel. We're also going to be adding some other things eventually, right? Yeah, like
it's growing every single week, which is nice.
Yeah,
keep the
every week.
momentum going.
What was the milestone you were just talking about?
Oh, so we should reach 100 views with this episode, which is awesome.
You guys have to help us out with that.
Yes.
Yeah, spread the word. Tell people about our little podcast here. Help us grow little by little. All for funsies, just for fun, right? But we also have NFL news, right?
Yeah.
Today we're going to start out with some things that happened just today.
Yeah, just a couple hours ago, two, I would say, highly rated receivers switching teams. One we kind of knew was going to happen.
Right, yeah.
With Devontae Adams leaving, I almost said Oakland again, Vegas.
Right, Vegas.
Leaving Vegas.
Get that straight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
We're just getting old. So leaving Vegas and going to the Jets for a conditional 3rd-round pick.
Right,
So,
which I believe could become a 2nd-round
Yes.
pick, right? And I didn't read up on this yet. Do you know the conditions? Is it on playing time? Is it on performance?
I didn't see it, but
Okay.
I think pretty good deal for the Jets.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, I think of it as like from a math perspective.
Yeah.
So like in the 3rd round, are you going to get a if you just think of receiver, are you going to get a Adams quality receiver in the 3rd round of the draft?
The draft is such a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, the value of the picks is I feel like it's kind of skewed, where you have your choice in the 1st round, but you don't get the most valuable players out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get a player, it's never guaranteed.
Yeah.
And their contracts are already like a boatload. I see more players that are bigger contributors come out of 2nd, 3rd round, and then you have like a comfortable contract with them. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think a couple of years ago, the NFL restructured the deals when it came to the NFL draft. So, like, you'd have like the first couple of picks were making outrageous money, especially like if you didn't think back all the way to Jamarcus Russell, who held out for like even more money and then just performed terribly.
Right.
The NFL did a good job of just, it's kind of like cut and paste now, where like you get drafted in a certain spot, that's the amount of money you make.
Yeah.
And that's it. You don't have to negotiate all that much.
Right. Until the 5th year option. That's like the big thing now for rookies, like when they hit that 5th year option.
Yeah, all those players just want to get to that 2nd contract. That's where you make the big money.
Right. And I feel like maybe as far as like Devontae Adams' like value in the vacuum of space,
Yeah.
a 2nd or 3rd round, I can see that. He's equal to that.
Yeah.
But I think as value to the team, I don't think he's bringing something they were missing.
He's bringing a friend to Aaron Rodgers. That's the big thing. Rodgers and him were a dynamic duo in Green Bay.
So there's no question now, like who's running the team right now.
It's
like
it's so blatantly obvious now.
Yeah, but I felt like I'm watching Garrett Wilson. He's a fantastic receiver. He's doing great. You know, the Robin to the Batman, whoever that is, whatever game. Mostly it was Lazar. Doing fine. You know, it seems like Rodgers is going to Lazar a lot as a second option. I think they could have spent their capital in other places. Maybe protect Aaron Rodgers a little better.
The offensive line is letting him down pretty hard. So I mean, but you know what though? Like, who gets excited about signing offensive linemen? If you just lost your coach last week,
right?
I just lost the game.
Yes.
It's Tuesday, so they just lost yesterday. This will appease the fan base,
and I think that's what we're doing, right? That we're not.
They're
not
appeasing
about saving,
Rodgers and the fan base.
Yeah, we're not saving the season here. We just want to get people in the seats, right?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, you broke the news, and I didn't even follow up on it. Which Cooper are we?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. Where did he go?
From the Browns to the Bills.
From the Browns.
Bills have been.
The Bills.
Yeah, they've been missing targets ever since Diggs left.
Right.
They had to do something to help Allen out. I mean, they luckily are in not a great division. Everyone in that division has taken a step back this year.
Yeah.
Maybe except the Jets, who have just kind of been holding serve with what they did last year.
Right.
But I like that move. He was wasted talent in Cleveland.
Yeah, and now there's the opposite situation where what a team was missing was what they went out and got, right? They needed someone who could be open in the zones, and Amari Cooper's veteran understanding of where to be, I think is going to help them out because they've got some fast receivers. They have some guys that can move, but you need someone that can find the open spots.
Yeah,
and Cooper will do that.
I saw that when he was up against the Giants.
Yes,
he just every time they needed a big play, it seemed like he was open, and if Watson got the ball, he got the ball, but sometimes he missed.
Do you know what they got?
I didn't see it. I just saw that it just popped up right before we recorded this podcast. So I didn't see the terms.
Yeah, you did. You texted that right away. So and I wonder what else is going to happen now. Week 6, right? We kind of see for some teams where the season's going.
You see those
what
trends.
Are we looking for? Yeah, and Las Vegas, Cleveland.
Yeah,
I think we know what's going on. Was it a mistake bringing in Minshew, or was it the plan?
To give AOC some you ever hear that's his nickname, AOC, which is hilarious. Minshew, he's a plan A didn't work, so we're gonna bring him in and kind of rally the troops. He shouldn't be your first option.
Yeah. Remember 2 weeks ago we were talking about a little bit about Ryan Fitzpatrick. And we're there'll never be another Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Garner Minshew. Yes. You can do it. You can be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't even think they believe in AOC either. Yeah. I think these together, they're like a bridge for what's next.
Yeah.
And so now they're preparing their roster, preparing their capital for the next steps.
And if you look forward at the upcoming draft, it's not super heavy in quarterback talent, so you might be able to get a quarterback who's relatively at the top of the pile in terms of QB rankings for the draft in the 3rd round. So
right,
and definitely in the 2nd round. So maybe that all shakes out really well for, I was going to say Oakland again, but Vegas.
For Vegas.
Vegas,
so
definitely.
Silver and black. All right. Are we ready for first down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is actually a great segue since we were just talking about trades. We have ridiculous rules.
All right.
Proposed rules. I have mine ready to go, but it could take a little bit. Do you have yours? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I didn't think mine was all that great.
Okay.
Because we did this a couple weeks ago. And
mine would be revolutionary.
Found one that was pretty good. and I think it was an enjoyable segment, so I'm glad we brought it back.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I don't know if I can think of anything, but I did
Okay.
actually. So here's like a pet peeve in football. It's like an oddity if you really think about how offsetting penalties work in the NFL. It's like, should it really, like, the weight of these penalties are like so different. And one of the things that pops up that becomes offsetting is, I don't know, you'll have like a illegal procedure on one side, and then a unsportsmanlike conduct on the other. And like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, those are
not the same.
But they cancel each other out.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, yeah. I feel like maybe we can deal with, like, at least that unsportsmanlike conduct a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
What if there was like in hockey where you have to get off the field for a little bit, and not necessarily lose a player, but that player needs to like step out. And I thought,
like a penalty box in hockey.
Yeah. And then the next part of the evolution of this rule, I was like, oh, they can go out for like a play or like 2 plays. And then I was like, you know what? That'd be too simple. What if since we're having fun with this rule, what if it was like a timed thing? Like it was 2 minutes. Think of how the strategy of how you would coach the game.
If it would have been like the middle of the play, he can come back in.
Right. Oh, not in the middle of the play, but like if it's by the game clock. Like if you're on offense and you lose your best receiver, and then you're like, oh, we want to run the ball, to get the
okay,
right. So yeah, I mean,
that could be
as
really
far as the
cool.
rule, it went from like one place and it went completely different. But for one thing, I don't think it's severely impacting the game.
They should take like the difference between the penalties.
Yeah,
like if it's a 5-yarder and a 15-yarder,
right?
Give the offense or defense.
Right. Are they afraid we can't do that kind of math? Is that what it is?
No, that math's pretty easy.
Yeah,
that's not
but
too
then
bad.
you get things like pass interference versus illegal procedure.
Yeah.
Right. That's like a big difference. Could be potentially a big difference in yards. I think they just didn't want to create these like subsets of decisions for refs to make, which I get.
Yeah, I get. And also you just see like coaches on the sideline just like freeze.
But let's just take unsportsmanlike conduct players off the field a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring that down.
All right. So what would be a time? 30 seconds?
I mean,
game time?
30 seconds of game time is because then we're just going to be like a play.
Okay.
Right? Let's say a minute. A minute.
Okay. Minute of game time? Okay.
That's a penalty. That's
substantial.
Players are not going to want to.
Yeah. And especially if you think like you have timeouts and like now that throws a whole new wrinkle into how offenses use their timeouts. Like, okay, your best corner's out for 1 minute. We're going to take all their timeouts and just attack that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love the strategy that this is bringing into the game. All right, what you got?
All right, so mine's pretty deep too, but so going into like this trade deadline, which is actually coming up early November, I believe, November 3rd.
I don't know.
So I'm a big soccer fan, and in soccer they have something called loans, and I think it would be wild to try that in the NFL. So to give you some background, so the way it works in soccer is there's what's called loan periods, where for like 2 weeks you can agree to loan out a player to another team. And when I say for 2 weeks, you just have 2 weeks to get the deal done, and you set it. You can set it for like, okay, this player is going to go to team B for the rest of the season, and then you can negotiate like, okay, you'll pay this % of the salary, we'll get this back in return, so on and so forth. But you can only do it for 2 weeks, and then the window closes and you can't loan out any more players or receive loans. So what if we did that in the NFL? Because you have these, and you can see it now a lot with these quarterbacks that get hurt early in the season,
right?
And it's almost like a lost season.
Yeah.
So first one that comes to mind, Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to play it both ways. So Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, star player, super frustrated that they're now on QB3. He's not getting the receptions he wants, the touches he wants, nothing.
Right.
So you go to Tyreek and say, hey, we really love you as a player. We know you're frustrated. We know you want to win. We'll loan you out to, let's just say, the Bills, which would have been good if they had not done that trade earlier today. But we'll lend you out to the Bills. So he goes to the Bills. They work out some deal. Maybe the Bills send back a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, some cash, whatever it is, till the end of the season. And Tyreek's happy because now he gets to play on a competitive team. And Miami, it's a lost season, but at least they get something back to help build in the future.
Right.
And they keep the rights to Hill next season.
Okay, so let's play this out.
Yes.
Rasheed Rice goes down,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
The Kansas City Chiefs loan or rent, I guess.
The
They
term is
borrow,
loan. Yeah.
Borrow?
Yeah.
They borrow Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
and they go all the way.
Yeah.
Does Tyreek Hill get the same ring? That
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I guess he gets a little arrowhead and like a dolphin next to it, I guess. Yeah, but the way that in soccer, it like if you're on that team, you get all those awards. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the hearing this, the only thing I think is that there's a big difference in, I guess, the severity and rate of injuries in soccer versus football, right? And I can see why this is not a thing in football, right? We're like protecting these players,
Yeah.
so we have our commodities for a while. Yeah, I don't know if I had a star player like Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
if I would let him like leave my responsibility, because he's got another season next year.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about that grind. Yeah, if he's in our walls, I can be like, all right, we're gonna sit you a few games. I feel like they would want players to play less, not
Yeah.
more.
So to counter that, what if we take it from a different perspective? Joe Flacco again.
Ooh,
So Miami's down to QB3. They need a quarterback. The Colts have Joe Flacco sitting on the bench. Well, right now he's playing, but like in this scenario, he's
playing
on the bench.
fantastic.
Amazing. So maybe we talk about Richardson. I don't know. Yeah. But you have a really good backup quarterback that you don't necessarily need.
Right.
So you can loan it out to Miami and get some really high draft picks or cash or do players instead. I see this more playing out for quarterbacks than I do.
Yeah, the most impactful injury.
Yeah.
I wonder what the value of a Tommy DeVito is.
Yeah.
Our
Honestly. Do you see the NFL moving towards a 1A, 1B quarterback system where like you really need two quality quarterbacks?
Oh
to be
yeah, you can see
competitive?
it. You can see it in the contracts of the backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, because they are valuable.
Yeah, if you ever watched Hard Knocks, like you should see like they had off-season Hard Knocks and how excited the GMs were getting to sign like a good backup quarterback because they know like it's one play and he's in.
Yeah.
Derail a season.
Yeah, I think about that watching our Giants.
Yes.
Because I feel like, I don't know if it's a play calling, I don't know if it's Daniel Jones' play, but I feel like they're playing it fast and loose with
Yeah.
with him. He's not sliding.
That ACL's fresh. Like
Right.
Yeah. Let's get some miles out of it.
Wherever they transplanted it from. Okay.
All right, ready to
We're
transition?
good with our rules?
Yeah.
Let's send those to the commissioner
Yeah.
or the competition committee. Really,
We should put this as a vote on like the YouTube or Instagram.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay, we might have to like 5 minutes after this. We'll try to set it up as a.
Let's do it on Instagram because you can do.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we can. There's like 4 people who follow us, so we might have to find a better.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the
mine.
link. Yeah.
We'll put it on all of ours. We'll
Yeah.
get this going. Right. You guys can help us out. Share our socials. But we're going to second down now. Second down. We've got our main story of the day. Right. The meat of our drive. And we are buying ourselves tickets to Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. We got to figure out a way to get to Europe.
Yeah. This will. So we're through 2 weeks in Europe. We have a couple more coming up.
Yeah. But we've been around the world for several weeks now, right? Not just Europe, right?
No, I think. Oh yeah, no. There's Brazil too.
Yeah.
The first week,
Uh-huh.
and they usually go to Germany. And if you look at the college, well, too. So college actually always starts in Dublin, Ireland, which is kind of cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
kind of
know that.
fun fact. Last couple of years, it's
Uh-huh.
the first game's in Dublin, Ireland, which is
Why?
going to come into play in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is we wanted to break down how this could happen. How can we bring an NFL franchise
Or
off-
franchises.
or franchises,
Yeah.
really, which is what it should be,
Yeah.
off of American soil and transplant this game a la what the NBA started, but hasn't expanded to the point of having franchises. But I think this is what the NFL's looking at. They've seen how the NBA has become like an international game, right? And baseball as well. I don't know the story behind baseball, if there was a commissioner that intentionally started transplanting and planting the seeds
into Canada,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can see the NFL's doing that. They don't have enough money, the NFL. That's why they want new markets to get more money out of, right?
Yeah. Never have too much. All right, so how are we doing this? So I think we could talk about the easy solution, and then we get pretty wild.
Okay, but I'll start off by saying, maybe if this is our plan, maybe we should not start by sending the Panthers and the Jets out to represent American football, right?
Is it, because it's funny, isn't it? Like if you win your division, or like if you hit certain thresholds, you don't have to go to London.
I feel like that because you're looking at these games.
It's like almost Hard Knocks, where like
you
can win your way out of it.
The Giants have been away. Like these are not.
No.
These are teams that have no say in this decision, right? So that was my first
thought. Yeah, let's send the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. Yeah, if we really want to grow this, we can't send Trevor Lawrence to play. Who they play this weekend? Oh, Caleb Williams was good. He had a good game. Yeah. No, you can't send two subpar quarterbacks who can't complete a pass consistently to represent
in the other game,
national game.
The other game was the Jets and Vikings. So it's like one team
is
like
solid. Yeah,
solid. The other is ugh.
Yeah. But even like Minnesota wasn't great last year, so like that kind of tracks.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, so can we just automatically not even pencil, just pen in Jacksonville to move to London?
Yeah, and I think that's the first thing is you have to find a franchise.
Yes.
Right? We're not making new franchises yet. We don't have the math for.
Oh, I have the math for that.
You have the math for
I
that?
do. Yeah.
Like the new playoff system.
Yeah.
All that. Okay.
I did all that.
Take it away, Richard.
All right. So we're gonna get wild.
Let's get wild.
All right. So first off, Jacksonville. Sorry, Jaguars are going to London. That's been a done deal for like years now. Like it has to happen. All right. So if that happens, it's actually not too bad. If we just do that one, so that means we still stay at 32 teams. You just have one team in London, and the travel schedule is pretty crazy. But I think the way you get around that is you have we'll just say month stretches where the London team is home and teams come over and visit, and then you have another month where they'll just come over to the States, stay, and just play 4 games in a row, and then come back. Okay. Not super great for the teams have to go to London.
Yeah.
But it's the best situation for. Do you think they would stay the London Jaguars, or probably get some more British name?
I think if you're gonna do this, you got to go all the way.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think the Jaguars are like that's not. It's just it. Yeah, it's a great '90s name.
There are great fan bases going to these games.
Yes,
and so that I think they would appreciate if they had their own.
Yeah,
team.
Really quick. Can we talk about that? Have you been to London before?
I have not been to London.
Okay, I've been to London, and when I was there, the moment people found out I was American, the moment I opened my mouth, all they wanted to do was talk about football.
Are you for real?
Yeah, like I had like at least 2 or 3 conversations a day about football, and it's really interesting. Like as soon as they heard I was American, they wanted to talk football because they don't get that necessarily there.
Yeah.
And it's really unique because they'll have teams they support, American like football teams, and the rationale is always kind of random, like, oh, I watched my first game, this team was on, or a lot of them love the Green Bay Packers because that ownership style is very similar to soccer ownership overseas, or they like had a player they liked in this year and they just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, you see when they have the games. They got all kinds of
it's all random, which we see here in the States when it comes to soccer. You see kids who wear a bunch of European.
But see, that's something I just learned from you.
Yeah.
Right? Because my assumption was that those were all expats from like different places in the United States.
No.
Now I look at it differently.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
it's wild.
the sport is there. They just need a team to funnel into.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have an idea how to make a European division.
I love this.
Okay.
That's what.
All right.
That's how
let's get wild. Okay. So, this involves us getting to 36 teams in the NFL.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Just okay. So the European division would have 6 teams.
Okay.
Okay. So there'd be 3.
A 6-team division?
Yeah. So it's gonna get wild. You have to restructure the entire NFL. So it's now 6 divisions of 6. So it's 36 teams.
Okay.
Okay.
6 divisions. So 3 on each conference.
No.
No.
You just have one conference as a division in Europe. Yeah, because you can't add another division of 4. Because right now it's 6 divisions of 4 teams each.
Right.
If you add another conference, now there's imbalance.
Okay.
Unless you put 2 teams in Europe in one conference or a division in one other. But let's get wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
Okay. So 3 teams in England. So London gets 2 teams actually. 2 teams.
No fair.
Yes. Yeah. So if you go to London, it's already split up according to like soccer club to like North, Central, and like South London. So those battle lines already exist where you can already plug into that fan base and say, okay, you guys like Chelsea Football Club? Well, guess what? Central London, South London, this is your team.
Right.
You're from North London, you're Arsenal, Tottenham fan, you get a team, NFL team now.
Right.
Okay. The third English team, Manchester. Okay, huge city, big soccer clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not throw a football team in?
Right.
Okay, we feeling good? Is it?
I'm going with it.
You're going with it? Okay. Okay.
I'll say the only thing I'm thinking now is like I watched
Yeah.
the waffle.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the World League of American
Yes.
Football.
Yeah. That's going to
And
come into play in a second.
There were teams all over Europe.
Yeah.
They were amazing teams. I still remember the uniforms and the helmets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Frankfurt Galaxy.
Yes. Yeah.
Rain,
That's
fire.
coming back.
And
Barcelona. Yeah.
I just don't want one of those cities to be left out.
So if you're going to do this, you got to make sure that you can, like, European soccer is so big because the rivalries, the derbies are so big.
Right.
So, like, if you had a team in Frankfurt and Barcelona, well, like, that's not a natural rivalry. But Manchester and London is.
Right.
Because their soccer teams already don't like each other. The fan bases don't like each other. So the support, like, it's, you're just plugging into it. You're not creating something new.
Right.
All right. So that's England.
Okay.
Okay. And if you know anything about English and Irish history, you probably know that they don't like each other. So we're gonna
different podcast.
Yeah, different podcast. So we're gonna throw a team in Dublin. So get that rivalry going. So the college football season starts out every year with a game in Dublin, Ireland. So they get a team too.
Right.
So that's gonna be a really fierce rivalry between the Irish and those 3 British clubs. Okay. Then we make our way over to Frankfurt, Germany. We bring back the Frankfurt Galaxy, which were awesome.
Yeah.
3-time waffle, right?
Waffle.
Yeah.
We used to call it waffle.
Yeah. Three-time waffle championships. So
Didn't
we
make
bring
sense because it was World League of American
Yeah,
Football.
yeah.
But
So they get one, and then Munich gets one as well. Huge city in Europe. Also, London, Manchester, Dublin, Munich. Huge transplant cities. So you have expats that are there that could help fill that fan base. So there's a thought process behind all this. All right, I can see in your eyes. How you feeling about that?
we're spreading out of
Yeah.
Great Britain, so I'm more comfortable now. I want this to be a full thing. I know the title is Ticket to Europe, but I don't want to, like, we've got other parts of the world.
Yes.
Right? We're in Sao Paulo, right? And I feel like, why haven't we just started it in Canada? The fields are there. It's,
you and I went to a CFL game. And it was awesome.
Yeah, we went to a CFL game.
Alouettes
it was the most
versus-
confusing
Yes.
football we've ever experienced. So confusing that the fans sitting next to us in the stands, who were from Montreal and were Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah,
fans,
like they had the jersey. It
they
wasn't
had
like
no
they
idea
just showed
the
up.
rules. We were like asking them what's going on with these kicks, and they're like, "Oh,
a single or had another name. If you miss a
Yeah.
field goal in Canadian football, it's worth 1 point if they can't return out.
Right.
But so great segue, because if you remember, we took the Jacksonville Jaguars out of Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
So now we're actually at 35 teams. So we have the 6 teams in England, or in Europe, but we're one down. Okay, because we took Jackson out. So we bring a Canadian city in. Can you guess the city?
Montreal.
Great choice, but I went in a different route.
Okay.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Do you remember?
Barely going into Canada.
That's right. We got it. We got to do it slowly. Did you know that the Bills played a game in Toronto for 4 straight years once a season?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. They tried it I think last year was 2012.
Oh.
So there's kind of the framework there to play devil's advocate. There's probably a reason they left it, but we're to contend it was a huge success, and we're gonna have a team in Toronto now.
Yeah. I've watched some Canadian football.
Yeah.
The NFL is a better product.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think. Yeah. So, I don't know what the resistance is for like just changing all of the Canadian football into NFL style football. Why doesn't Canadian football just become NFL?
I know the Grey Cup is older than Super Bowl, so it's probably just steeped in there.
Yeah.
Fun fact before we transition: there used to be American teams in the CFL, which is wild.
Oh.
Yeah, and in the World Football. When I was researching this topic, World Football. There's a team in New Jersey, the New Jersey Nets. Not Nets. Knights.
Knights.
Yeah. So it got pretty wild in the 90s. Just like throwing teams wherever, like you're in this league. But yeah.
I look forward to this expansion and all the complications it's going to cause.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Yeah.
Just like Patrick Mahomes. It's inevitable.
Like Patrick Mahomes and third down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Third down today is what? We are talking movies.
Yeah, talking. Should we do top 5, top 3 football movies / TV shows?
What do you think? Top 3?
Top 3. Yeah.
Top 3.
Top 3. Cream of the crop. Okay. So
that's a tougher list. Top 3. I had a hard time making a top 5.
Yeah, but I feel like if we go top 3, it'd be a better discussion because we can like.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'll say is on my list, it was almost like 1 through 5 were almost equal, and I could have a 1. Like right now, I would have a 1, just based on like how I feel that day. You know what I mean? So,
should we go number 1? Or do you want to go 3, 2, 1? Okay.
Finish on 1. Right.
Okay. So any TV show or movie that predominantly talked about football.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So let's start this way. Since we made a list of 5, we were like not sure we were going to do top 5. Let's shout out our 4 and 5 as like honorable mentions.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So what did you have as your 4 and 5?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with 4 and 5. I'll go 4 or 5. Draft day.
You enjoyed that?
Well, that's the reason why it's 5 and not top 3. I enjoyed it. It was nice to have like a 2-hour commercial for NFL.com shop or whatever, NFLshop.com. That was kind of cool. Like that's all I got out of that movie.
I had like an 8 movie list, and Draft Day was not
really
on there.
Is it because you forgot about it?
No, I Googled a list.
Also, I love
and
that.
I saw that, and I was like,
I love that they picked Cleveland. It was the perfect, like Cleveland or Detroit would have been perfect for that movie.
How about your 4?
Okay, 4. I'm gonna go with The League.
The League. Oh, the show.
Yeah, the show about fantasy.
Okay.
You can make the argument it's just about fantasy football, but there's enough football in there.
Yeah. Acceptable. I don't watch. I realized I didn't watch any like football shows, so I didn't.
I have a couple. They're more documentaries than.
Yeah. But I don't think that counts. So off my 5, and I think we were trying to like truncate this, but I'll go through it anyway. I had Rudy, The Program, and Concussion that were like honorable mentions.
Yeah.
The Program. Did you watch The Program?
I did not.
Oh man,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah.
And you guys at home, any of these movies that we're mentioning, check them out. If you're a football fan, these are great movies.
Was Rudy offside?
Did I say that? Rudy?
Was he offside? No.
Offside?
You ever know that? Yeah, and that famous play is like offside.
Yeah. So my 4 and 5. So I had The Little Giants.
Oh, that's gonna pop up higher in my list.
Higher on your
Yeah.
list. And Waterboy.
Yeah. Oh,
And I don't think Waterboy's a good movie.
it's perfect because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I used to be so proud. I remember this college's name. It was like Southeast West Louisiana State University. Like
Right.
the directions didn't make sense. And they played. It was the you remember the bowl game they played in?
No.
The Bourbon Bowl.
The Bourbon.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like before they were memes, it was like a very memeable
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Like
it was
my
ahead of its
siblings,
time.
my brothers, and I would repeat stupid lines
Yeah.
from the movie all the time.
My buddy and I definitely tried to only speak in Waterboy quotes one night, and we made it like a good amount, like 30 minutes. We're like, just
I can see you guys do.
yeah, no,
I can see
it's
All right, do you want to go
Okay.
with your top three or you want me?
we should go 3-3, 2-2,
Okay.
1-1. All right, so I'm gonna go with a great TV show, great documentary.
Uh-huh.
I kind of lost it at the end. Like last season wasn't great, but Last Chance U.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great documentary. For those of you who don't
Right.
know, it's a documentary. It follows a junior college football team for a full season, and each season it's just a different football season. For the first two, they're at East Mississippi State Community College. Then they go to Independence Community College, and then I think Laney in California is the last one. But it really gives you. It's all college football players for whatever reason. Academics, maybe they got arrested, trouble at home. They kind of fall to junior college football, and they're trying to make their way back to Division I football. And some of them do, and then some of them, for whatever reason, don't. But it's interesting.
Yeah. And I don't follow college football, and so I don't know if it was like common knowledge or whatever. But the system of like junior college and college football, like I had it was very educational for me to watch Last Chance U and find out just how the whole mechanics of it works.
Yeah, and it's like great pyramid of like there's such a hierarchy of like those top schools like Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, like
right.
And then there's like so many levels to it
Yeah.
where they're really like this is the bottom of college football,
Right.
but they're trying to make their way back up.
Yeah.
And also from a teacher's perspective, it's great they go into the support those guys have like in the classroom to like help them meet the GPA requirements.
Right.
Really, really fascinating. And it's actually going to be a drama. They're redoing it as a
really?
a drama. Yeah, I think
That's-
Courtney Cox is going to be in it. Should be interesting.
Playing the see, I forget her
Oh
name.
yeah, it's been too long.
Yeah.
But the student, like we'd call them a SAC.
Right.
Yeah, student assistant counselor. All right.
Number 3 for me, I had The Replacements.
Yeah, great,
Right.
great.
Just a fun movie.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone else have anything to do that day besides watch that bowl game?
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In general, and I told you my list of movies are all kind of like even. I think football movies are kind of mid. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
because I watch so much football,
Mm-hmm.
and when you watch a movie, you want to be like transported into it,
Yeah.
right? But when the football on screen looks so different from like real
Yeah, and that's
football,
like the point. The
it kind
replacement
of like
pulls
pulls me out of it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
watching
I
something
got you.
ridiculous here. Like, what's going on? And so I don't think The Replacements is like a real great portrayal of football,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good movie. It's
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm. Shane Falco.
yeah,
Yeah.
funny, comedic,
All right.
touching.
Yes. And partially, like, true. They did that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 70s, right? 70s or 80s.
It was, let's see,
Wherever.
I think it was in the 80s because it was like near
wherever
the
Mark Wahlberg.
Giants 86 football.
Yeah, so that
Super
makes
Bowl,
sense. Yeah,
right?
80s.
Because I know that team went through it, like
Yeah,
Lawrence Taylor and
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2.
Your number 2.
All right, I'm gonna go with.
Oh, I see you had
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to make a change here. He has replacements for number 2.
Yeah, so I will go with Remember the Titans.
Number things.
Yeah, super inspirational, great film. Denzel at his finest.
Our history teacher here shows it. as
Oh
like
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
yeah.
curriculum
Mhm.
here, right?
Yeah.
I've got Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
Probably like the closest thing that puts me in like
what it's like
in the game, right? I was blown away when I actually got to watch this movie because I went to see this in the theater and I actually could not watch this movie in the theater. I got motion sick from the what do you call it, the motion cam, because part of the realism was to get off the steady cam. If you know anything about movies, you know what I'm talking about. And so I sat down in the theater and I started watching and enjoying this, and then I was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I had to go like sit outside and wait for the rest of my family to like finish watching. I was that way with Avatar. I saw it on IMAX. Like my glasses and they're 3D. Oh yeah, like it was too many lenses. All right, good one. Didn't make my list, but good one. Yeah. All right, number one. Little Giants. It's awesome. Like I was a kid when it came out, so like I related to it. I'm a Giants fan. Like it was awesome. I love that the Giants wore those jerseys for a couple of years. The red jerseys. Yeah. That's amazing. But like I just love how it takes. You know, it's that classic '90s storyline where like it's a bunch of like scrappy kids that like just need some guidance and coaching. It's the Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
We can say
okay.
It. That's just like
don't
what it is.
If you say that, it ruins it. But yeah,
right.
Amazing movie. The annexation in Puerto Rico. Like say that to anyone my age, and like they'll just die.
I guess if we're honest, all these movies are Bad News Bears movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my number one.
Even Replacement.
Right. My number one. My number one, and actually would be a true number one for me. I think maybe 2 through 5 were kind of like I could intermix, but I have Necessary Roughness. Okay. Have you ever seen this?
I have not.
You have to go home and watch it.
Is it a documentary or?
It is not a documentary.
No? This
is a comedy from the 80s. Wait, no, maybe it's from the 90s. I'm sorry. I have to look this up. I'm going to take a stab and say it's like 88.
All right.
Starring Scott Bakula.
Great name.
Yeah. Hector Elizondo. You know him? Not starring, but in the movie is a very young Jason Bateman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is starring. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's just a great story about a college football team who's had to get rid of all of its players due to controversy. And so they grab players from the student body, like actual, not recruited players.
Kind of sounds like Replacements in college, yeah.
Yeah, so it predates Replacements. And I think it's a great movie. It's a great story. They bring in a 35-year-old quarterback who has eligibility.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Kind of sounds like that actually happened to SMU when they had the death penalty.
Right.
Yeah.
So the whole storyline is great. I think it's a well-done movie. I also personally, one of the storylines is they bring in a kicker off of the female soccer team to be their kicker, played by Kathy Ireland.
Oh my goodness!
Do you know who that is?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
right. Sports Illustrated model. Kathy Ireland. And so you can see the draw meant a lot to me at that time.
Yes, yeah, I got you.
So it was just
if they remake it, it'd be Sydney Sweenham.
They absolutely should remake this movie. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
Maybe we can bring in an actual
actress. Yeah.
Awful. She could be watching.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
if that's what does it, that's fine. that's what does it.
All right. So number one, Little Giants, Necessary Roughness. But you should watch all of these movies. They're all gems.
The Giants should lean into that, by the way. They should have Little Giants.
They should have a play called the Annexation.
Yeah, and bring those like the Anaheim Ducks brought back the Mighty Ducks. Yeah, like the actors and everything. True. Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
Go watch these movies. Fourth down. Yeah. We're here. I don't remember. What are we doing for fourth down?
We're doing bold.
We're bold predictions.
Prediction.
Right?
Yes.
Gonna just shoot these out there and get it out there.
Okay.
My bold prediction. Not so crazy, I think, but we're thinking of the season. 3 of the NFC East coaches that are coaching today in the NFC East will not be coaching in the NFC East next year.
Dallas, Philadelphia, and Giants, I assume.
I would say.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some. I was watching the Dallas game against Detroit, and there was one of those fourth down calls
Mm-hmm.
where I did not think McCarthy had to go for that fourth down call.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's ridiculous, right? And then almost a carbon copy situation in the game that happened on the Giants game, and they will call the same call. And I just,
Yeah.
I don't think we're high level coaching right now.
No, I got you. I have my own bold prediction, but I'm gonna tag onto yours. If that does happen, one of those three teams is gonna land Bill Belichick.
Ooh,
It's gonna happen. Yeah,
it is.
because he keeps on saying really nice things about Dallas and how much he loves the team
Right.
and everything, and could
Right.
probably put Jerry
Yeah, but there's
Let's
only
play.
one place he wants to be in his heart.
back home
He
in
wants
New York.
to be back home. He wants.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel
people
like
forget he won. Did he win 2 or 1 Super Bowl?
he won one Super Bowl
Yeah.
with the Giants. He's always wanted that
Yeah.
job though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You could tell like when they lost those Super Bowls, he's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So on Sunday I was at church with my family, and there's like another dad there who also has little girls, and they were playing, and him and I are both Giant fans. We were talking. We were talking about the game, and I said, I'm gonna make a prediction. This is true. Like, this legit happened. I said, whoever wins this game tonight is gonna make the playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Bengals are gonna make the playoffs.
Okay.
I saw I saw that game as a turning point for both teams' season.
Yeah.
And I thought the Giants could be at 500 and kind of be feisty,
Right.
not super out, only one game out of the division.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way. Joe Burrow's got his groove back, can run again, apparently, unless the Giants' defense is just that bad. But I think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs. That's going to be my bold prediction.
I mean, that's a prediction. I do not agree with any of that actually analysis. I think the Bengals look terrible, and the Giants. And think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just analyzing that game
Yeah.
on a wider scale, there's a lot of wild kicking going on,
Yeah.
right? And the Giants missed a couple of field goals with a fresh kicker who they just signed off the street. So you've got that situation, and then it's 10-7 after all of that is said and done, and the Giants have to allow the Bengals to score to try and get the ball back. So we're looking at a score of like 17-7 against the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Burrows looked like he got beat up pretty bad in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it as a prediction.
Yeah.
Disagree, but-
One side note before we send everyone home.
Yeah.
So you ever like hear that like childhood fantasy where like you'd just be shooting hoops in the driveway and like a car would be driving by and like, oh man, you're amazing. Do you want to come play in the NBA? You're like that's kind of a popular
I'm
thing.
sorry, Richard. But
No, never thought.
it sounds like a fantastic fantasy.
Okay. I swear it's a thing. But the closest thing we're ever going to get to it is I think if you just kick field goals at like a high school field, like you probably have a legit chance of like an NFL owner to be like, oh my goodness, like you can come kick for our team. Like what's happened to all these kickers that just they're
all
going
over the
down?
league. We should analyze
Like
this.
maybe you should just set up like a field goal outside the stadium and like literally just kick field goals and be like, if someone gets hurt, I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. I'll bring my own helmet.
We should look at this because I think there is something going on.
Something's happening.
I think it's something maybe about how defenses are lining up now,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're getting a few blocks off of some
Kickers aren't drinking
different
enough milk.
plays, maybe.
Bones are
I don't know. Do you remember
fragile.
last year when Belichick was sending in players off the wing to block kicks? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, I gotta show you these clips. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
So, like the punt protectors,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
like not the protectors, the gunners.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They're lined up like gunners,
Mm-hmm.
and because they watched the film on these kickers' visuals, they
Yeah.
know exactly how it all plays out. So they just run from out there in towards the middle,
And just
And-
hope. Yeah.
and they got a couple blocks that way
Mhm.
last year. No one's doing it. No one picked it up from last year.
Belichick doesn't have a job right now. So,
Right, yeah.
It's probably-
Well, that was episode 3.
Yeah.
Right? You guys have some homework. Search out, find our socials. Like it here on my channel. I'm going to continue posting the videos in this playlist on this channel. Eventually, and I want to say next week, right? We're going to be going live from our actual YouTube
Yeah.
of Undrafted Free Agents Pod. So hop over there, like, subscribe, leave comments, right? say hi to us. I respond in the comments. Rich will start doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We have comments.
We've
Okay.
clone.
Oh yeah. No, I saw that. Yeah, I saw those. Yeah. Thanks. Clone.
But yeah, we'll be back next week after week 7 action. That's our day.
All right.
Right.
Take care.
Have a good one.